Bro Science Breakdown.
Fun fact: exercise balances out your crappy eating habits. If you believe this, allow me to debunk that for you. Welcome to Bro Science Breakdown, where I discuss healthy living for my fellow young folks. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Arthur, an early high school grad who struggled with my self-image for a long time. I was eventually able to overcome my struggles, and I might be able to help you with yours as well. So, if you're around 18, then you've come to the right place. In these first 3 episodes, I'll be delving into 3 important facets of health for us younger folks: physical health, mental health, and social health. Many people don't know this, but these 3 healths are deeply interconnected and are important for maintaining your overall well-being. This episode will cover the first part of the health triumvirate, physical health. By the way, this is just going to be a simple overview, not a deep dive. If you'd like, I can go more in-depth about any topic mentioned in this episode. Just give me the word. Now, when I mention physical health, I'm not just referring to pumping iron. Working out is a great way of improving your physical health, though that's just only one part of the equation. Eating and sleeping well are also important when it comes to being physically healthy. Taking care of these 3 pillars will not only make you look good, but also you live longer and increase your quality of life. It's a lot to take in, so I'll break it down for you. Starting with the part I'm most passionate about, physical activity. Having been working out for the past 3 or so years, I can say with full confidence that starting this journey has been one of the best decisions I've made for myself. Growing up, I had many self-image issues because of my weight, and, well, I guess you could say I was bulking most of my life. People like Arnold Schwarzenegger were my idols, and I aspired to be just like them physically. I had a barbell with a few weights. Well, calling a feeble metal rod fit for a 10-year-old a barbell is rich, though that's besides the point. Anyways, I occasionally did curls and bench press, though I never seriously dedicated myself to training my body. This all changed after I visited Hawaii with my family when I was about 13. The hotel we stayed at had a pretty simple gym, dumbbells going up to 50 pounds and a few benches and cardio machines. My self-image issues were at an all-time worst, and I wanted to be rid of the excess fat I carried around every day. So, I figured that this was an excellent time to start, and I began hitting the gym for the first time. With my limited knowledge of weightlifting, I only did curls with 15 pounds, and I had questionable form the entire time. The rest of my exercise consisted of me using the indoor cycling machine. Honestly, I love this machine, by the way. Just shout out to it. I suggest using it, especially the one with the backrest. I immediately fell in love with exercise the moment I began training. The euphoric feeling afterwards, which I now know is caused by the rush of endorphins flooding my veins, inspired me to push myself to my limits. On my first day, I ended up riding 18 miles with a bike for about 2.5 hours. I think that just goes to show how dedicated I was to training. Despite being tired as hell and sweating like I was drenched by a waterfall, I knew that this was just the beginning of my training. After I returned home, I missed the feeling I had when I was in the hotel gym. I chased the feeling, and I decided to take the metal 35-pound dumbbell that was collecting dust in our patio and curled it 200 times with both arms. I, of course, used cheat reps the whole time. And in hindsight, this was an absolutely idiotic idea, though at the time, I thought this would give me the proper gains I wanted. The 2 weeks I spent recovering from the incident allowed me to come up with a more proper training program for myself, and I eventually began training more rationally in the community gym. I soon made some gains, and my friends began noticing. They complimented the increase in muscle mass, which further inspired me to continue my weightlifting journey. Honestly, I've never really felt better about my body than I do now. When I used to look in the mirror, I saw a tub of lard staring right back at me. I knew it was a sight that made me feel really bad about myself. I now see the man I've always wanted to become, and a potential future for self-improvement. Plus, being physically fit has given my energy levels a much-needed boost over time, reduced my stress levels, and probably several other things I haven't taken into account and forgotten. As cool as this all sounds, don't just take it from some random 18-year-old living in his mom's basement. Scientific research has proven time and time again the benefits of being physically fit. According to Tony Golan, associate professor at Harvard Medical School and chief medical officer at Mount Auburn Hospital, there's a pretty clear connection between higher energy levels and exercise. Working out promotes the production of mitochondria, which, as you know from biology, is the powerhouse of the cell, in muscle cells, boosting the body's energy supply. It's like upgrading your body's battery to give you more energy throughout the day. It's a pretty sweet deal if you ask me, but that's not all. The article also mentions that exercise also helps with the circulation of cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. In addition to giving the body even more energy, these changes also improve stress management and sharpen senses. In short, physical activity is not just about the gains. It can fundamentally change the way your body works for the better. In my opinion, there's no better time to start than now. No need to wait for a New Year's resolution to have the motivation peter off in about a month. All you need is 2 to 3 days out of the week and a gym membership. Some people stay in the gym for about an hour or even 2 hours, but all you really need is 30 minutes to train the essential muscles. Now, commuting does take a lot of time and is sometimes a deal breaker for people who face this issue. If you're one of these people, then hear me out. There's this adjustable dumbbell set on Amazon that costs about $130, and it's enough to last you for a while. You don't have to, but I also suggest getting an adjustable bench, and they usually go for about $60 on Amazon. It might seem like a pretty big investment to drop $190 on gym equipment, but it's worth it in the long run. Working out is cool and all, but you won't reap all the rewards it promises if you don't eat well. Think of your body as a sports car. Regular exercise keeps your engine finely tuned and running efficiently. You wouldn't want to put low-grade fuel and cheap oil in a sports car, would you? It might make your engine run fine at first, though it'll gunk up and cause problems in the long run. Junk food, in this analogy, would be the low-grade fuel and cheap oil. My fitness journey so far has taught me that putting the right nutrients in your body is the way to go. At the start, I used to eat really unhealthy foods all the time. I would eat a sugar-loaded bowl of cereal, blueberry muffin, and a glass of sweet juice for breakfast. I used a lot of calorie and sugar-dense sauces in my lunch and dinner. On top of that, I snacked constantly throughout the day. In short, my eating habits were not that great. About 2 years ago, I turned this around through sheer willpower. I'm a very stubborn person, you see, and as much as it is a hindrance, it often helps me achieve my goals. At that time, my YouTube feed kept recommending videos of Nikocado avocado, and it made me reflect on what I was putting inside my body. Realizing how unhealthy the food I ate was, I decided to cut down on the junk I consumed by a factor of 5. Now mind you, I did not turn into one of those health nuts that despise carbs. I just cut down on the added sugars and reduced my overall caloric intake. For example, instead of snacking on chips, I had a large Honeycrisp apple. For me, reducing these two allowed me to drop about 20 pounds of fat. If you too would also like to lose the weight, I mentioned dropping caloric intake for a reason. At the end of the day, weight loss chiefly comes down to eating less calories than what you burn. Calories in and calories out. Reducing the amount of added sugars you consume is a great way to reduce the amount of calories you take in. Working out also helps with this, as it increases the amount of calories you can eat while still losing weight. A collaborative study done by Harvard and Yale backs up my claims. It analyzed the diet patterns of 3,200 global participants, and they found out that the greatest predictor of weight loss was eating in a caloric deficit rather than just following a specific diet. While those who participated in Mediterranean and plant-based diets did indeed lose weight, the weight loss was due to them eating less calories than they burned. But don't take my message as completely abstaining from all junk foods. You can treat yourself to something unhealthy every now and then, but as long as it fits within your caloric budget. Honestly, I might have just quit my fitness journey entirely if I had to give up eating sweets. Everything in moderation, as I always say. Basically, eat less than what you burn. Tracking calories might seem inconvenient, though it's pretty simple. First, use one of the many online calculators to see your BMR, or basal metabolic rate. It's the minimum amount of energy and calories your body needs in order to perform essential functions while at rest. Eat under this rate to lose weight, and vice versa for gaining weight. Then, track the calories of the food you eat. I got a free app that you can use to look up what you eat, and they have a lot of options to choose from. Plus, you can even put in the specific amount of what you ate in order to accurately track the amount of calories. Like, if you drank 1/8 of a cup of milk, for example, you'd be able to log that. Plus, you don't really have to do that every time you sit down for a meal, as you'll get a rough idea of what's in your calorie range after a certain point. The next thing that's essential to take care of is sleep. You may be exercising regularly and eating mindfully, though you'll be missing out on maximum benefits if you're sleeping late. Now, this one is overlooked by a lot of people, or at least the majority of people I know, because they tend to sleep pretty late, relatively speaking. When I mean late, I'm talking past midnight. Some of you listening might not think that's too bad, though I highly advise against sleeping at that time. From personal experience, my quality of sleep drastically improves if I sleep at around 11 p.m. rather than 12 a.m. or later. I usually wake up at 6 in the morning, and I simply cannot wake up that early if I sleep late. The earliest I'd be able to do is 7:30, and to me, that's pretty late. Plus, when I was in high school, I found out that sleeping late meant that I generally do worse on a test. I compared test results when I was sleep deprived versus when I had adequate sleep, and the difference was pretty noticeable. There are 2 studies that show a significant relationship between good sleep and good benefits. They not only encompass performance in the gym, but also performance in school. The first study, published in the scientific journal PubMed Essential, focused on the relationship between sleep and recovery of athletes after a workout. The study found that athletes who slept less than 7 hours experienced pretty negative side effects, including increased levels of stress hormones, feeling hungrier, and reduced rates of muscular repair. This last point is especially detrimental if you want to gain muscle mass, as this means you're limiting your body's potential growth by sleeping late. The next study, conducted in 2023 by Carnegie Mellon University, tracked the sleep of 600 first-year students through the use of Fitbits. They discovered, on average, that each hour of sleep lost correlated to a 0.07 point drop in GPA, and those who slept less than 6 hours experienced a prominent decline in performance. Among my friends, being on electronics seems to be a prominent reason to stay up late. So, if you're listening and staying up late for the same reason, put away your phone, or shut off whatever you're using for that matter. Seriously, it feels good to sleep, so why are you purposely depriving yourself from this heavenly experience? Plus, you'll be losing out on the benefits I mentioned from the studies, and more. Now before I go, there's one more thing I have to mention. Stay hydrated. Seriously, do it. I hope I just reminded a few of you guys to drink water. In fact, as I'm writing this script, I'm actively drinking water. It's so damn important I have to remind my friends to drink water at times. UC San Francisco's 2024 study shows how damn important being well hydrated is. They held 18 randomized controlled trials and found that weight loss increased from 44% to 100%. There were less kidney stone incidents, diabetes control, and a few other great benefits. So, drink water. And don't make me say it again. Thanks for listening all the way through. It means a lot. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever to boost the engagement, as that really helps the show. In the next episode, I'll be discussing mental health and how it's especially important for people our age. This is Arthur, signing off.